packs, and they give you extra commons and uncommons, and you get extra packs to add into your deck the more you play. I'd like to go first. That's okay. So, like, one of the things that's kind of awkward in this deck is that our 1-drops are blood, but we have more ruby resources than blood resources just because, like, Necropolis coins are far better than the ruby coins. That being said, we have an Emperor's Lackey on 2 here, which is a 4/4 that gets smaller every turn. And if we draw a non-slow shard next turn, we can play the Underworld Crusader on 3. So anytime you go 4/4 into 4/4, especially on the play, it's pretty good. You usually need, like, 10s the floor, Ribson. If you want to up the Necrotic count without playing additional Matriarchs, you could play, what's the card I'm thinking of? Additional copies of the 2/3 for 2, the Scrounge guy. Hex is essentially Magic plus. It takes kind of the core game design idea that Magic has, and it removes a lot of the frustrating aspects by using the digital design space. Yeah, and the 4/1. Yeah, those two. Yes, Terminator. I would 10 out of 10 play Lantern as a donation deck list. 110%. Magic Online's probably written in Cobalt, right? This is kind of annoying. When this dies, it comes back, so they get to chump block me for a turn. So now I have to decide here, do I want to play this Necropolis coin out as a resource, or do I want to save it to discard, draw a card, and drain them? I think I'd rather discard, draw a card, and drain them. So I'm going to go Geist, Lackey, pass here. Morning, Gym Class Hero. No blocks. They have another flyer here? They have a Massacre or something, perhaps? Oh, right. They can sacrifice something to give something, make something smaller, right? Gives the troop -2/-2. Infinite tricks. Okay. Huh. Discard this, see what we get. That's decent. Play this. Attack with these two. If they want to block here, I'll sack the Graven Geist to eat their thing. Yep, they don't want to block because they know I'll sack. Go play Lantern and enjoy it. Thank you for the donation. We'll kick off tomorrow's Magic stream with some Lantern control. That sounds wonderful. Fun is zero sum, as they say, right? I actually have a couple donation deck lists I need to get through here, but we're going to start with Lantern, because Lantern sounds like good, clean living. I'll have to message Adrian and find out what his current list looks like. Play this Lazgar's Vengeance, deal 4 to my opponent's face and their troops. Scrounge this. So I don't actually need the resource this gives me from scrounging it, but it makes my Graven Geist bigger. And they're dead. Yes, in general, you want to be on the play at Hex just like in Magic. Being on the play is really a good tempo boost. Not quite sure what my opponent's doing. Wait, that's a lie. Excuse me, we do know. Someone linked their deck list earlier. This is a deck list from one of the 5 shards over the weekend. So one of the things that's sweet too, if you're coming from Magic, WotC hides a lot of data. Hex gives us literally all the data. So you can like see this is a deck list that someone played in a tournament. You can see every match that they played in that tournament. Which is kind of awesome. What do I want to do in this matchup? They have Underworld Crusaders. I guess they don't have a lot of things that Cremate is particularly good against. Graven Geist seems pretty bad because their champion power kills it and they have Spirit Bounce by. Haunting Cry seems okay. Primordial Sabretooth seems okay. I'm just going to click submit like that. One extra Sabretooth. I guess Sabretooths kill infinite tricks, which are kind of must answer for us. Hex gives you a small selection of cards that are more than enough to play the PvE campaign with. Why did I move to Hex and leave Magic? Well, I play both. You can play multiple games and enjoy them in different ways. On average, I think I enjoy Hex more than Magic. It's just, you know, it's like I said earlier, it takes a lot of the frustrating components that Magic has and just kind of takes them out of the game. Like, you know, we played a 27 land deck in Modern today, and we mulliganed 5 one-land hands in 7 games. And, like, yeah, it's getting a little bit unlucky and we're running, like, below the curve, but, like, at the same time, it's like, well, in Hex, that's just, like, actually not possible. If you put 27 resources in your Hex deck, because of their modified opening hand algorithm, you're always going to have at least 2. So this is opponent's deck's a little bit different than what got linked in chat earlier, it looks like. Just gonna play this Wicked Webspawn out here, I think. Blocks their 1/1. They're still gonna hit us with the Deathseeker, but I think that's fine. Guidance, yep. How do you level up? Your account has an experience counter that every time you win any games of Hex, whether or not they're on the ladder or playing against the computer or just anything, your account earns experience towards doing stuff like getting free things like draft tickets and stuff like that. Wow, no chip block there is interesting. I wonder what's in their hand. I just have, like, infinite tricks here. It's not going to be particularly good for them since I have the Sabretooth. Hero Falls. This is a really powerful removal spell. Not only does it kill this troop in play, but it gets rid of all other copies of this troop out of my deck in hand. So we're actually going to lose this Underworld Crusader out of our hand, which feels a little bit bad. But he does draw 2 cards to replace himself at least, so we got that going for us. You can get a competitive deck by being completely free to play. It's going to be a bit of a grind, but it is a thing that is possible to do. I do agree with that assessment. So, like, in my budget Hex decks article, there's actually, that reminds me, we found a new budget deck that I want to add to there. There's a $20 constructed deck that's, like, more than competitive to play on the ladder. So, like, if you put, like, 15 to 20 bucks in, you'll be able to farm a little bit quicker because you'll be able to play ladder matches reasonably where you can just earn booster packs and gold readily. They don't have a resource here. They're in a lot of trouble. Yep, they don't have a resource, which means their board dies to Lazgar's Vengeance. Say hello to my little friend. Vengeance for Lazgar. After we play a couple matches with this, I might build the Sapphire Wild deck that they were kicking around. There's another player, Curtis. I'm blanking on Curtis's last name. Designed it. Ooh, that's a 4/6. That's annoying. Am I just, like, double Sabretoothing this? Yes. Yes, I am. And then this puts them down to 3, and then if we draw a non-slow shard next turn, we can Lazgar them for lethal. Yeah, right, Burgle? I mean, he's smart, you know? He played the good deck. gross. So this card costs 10, and it gets cheaper for every troop and every crypt, and it makes us discard our hand. So there's 8 troops in crypts total. So for 2 cards, they just made us discard our entire hand. Yep. The good news is they have to chump block here, because they're at 3 and this deals 3. Now they're at 5, so their next thing won't be required to chump block. It's not Mind Twist, because you can't spend more resources to make them discard more hands. The way you make it more cards, the way you make it cheaper is by, as a good draw, is by putting more troops into discard piles. Alright, yep, and again, Lazgar's Vengeance is powerful, but it's kind of clunky and awkward in spots like this, right? Like, I drew it, I only have 5 resources. That's really good. So when this comes into play, it grabs a troop with cost 3 or less from their crypt and makes it invincible. Yep. If I kill this, this goes away. So hopefully I draw a Sabretooth here. I'm going to hold on to that one. So this guy is a 1/3 for 3 that on deploy, it gets Rage 2 and Speed if we have another Underworld troop in our hand. That's going to be the game. And this lets them gain life. I don't know, Burgle. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Alright. Hopefully we can get him on the play here. Culmination Blood is a powerful card. It's okay. Not super exciting, but fine. Probably play Blamsmith on 2 so we can get down and start attacking for 3. Next turn we go Well of Hatred for Blood, play Wicked Webspawn, hit my champion power, crack them for 5. And then the next turn we can scrounge the Dread Apprentice to make 5 things between it and the Webspawn. Not attacking my 3/2 into their 4/4. Alright, we drew another resource here, but it's a coin, so that means it's going to get to... It's going to get to cycle here down the line for us. I'm playing this. Am I just hitting with everything here? I feel like I'm just attacking with everything. If they want to eat this, they take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nah, that's not even true. I'm just going to attack with the Dreadlings here, because the Dreadlings make this cost 1, and then I can Lazgar them. I want to Lazgar this turn, because they could Culmination and Blood me next turn. Because we put so many Dreadlings into the crypts. So again, I just wanted... This is worse if they have infinite tricks, but it's better if they have Culmination. So it's kind of like this awkward line we have to walk here. Oh, good call, K. Smith. Yeah, watch us draw Matriarch and they have infinite tricks, so we just get punished for this sequence. Rustbucket's a good one. Yeah, Hex gives us 100% of the data. So, hexpvptools.com. You can't block. This puts them to 3. And this time, again, we're going to play Crypt Dust, because if we draw Matriarch of the Flames, this Ruby could make it larger. So we're going to take 3 here, and that'll put them up to 6, but we're still in an okay spot. Oh, yeah. I mean, we still had to push there, right? Alright. It's a shame the Wicked Webspawn died. Am I just supposed to, like, A-space smash face here? That's probably not good. They'd get to... So if I hit this, it makes 3 poopers. They could eat this, trade here, and then they go to 9, take 6. I think we're just dead here, because they're going to get to shift this over to the Underworld Crusader. We don't have cremates to draw to here. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Lose our hand, lose the game. Yeah, Culmination's pretty strong. Like, the fact that they can control it. And, like, so that game, maybe... So something that's kind of interesting there is, like, they almost certainly play 4 Infinite Tricks. They might not play 4 Culminations. So, like, that turn that I Culminationed just to, like, try and play around, what's it called? I Culmination, or I Lazgar to play around Culmination instead of Infinite Tricks. If I would have just waited there... Yeah, I think what lost us that game was pulling the trigger on the Lazgars too soon. I think if I would have saved the Lazgar, because then, like, because they were culminationing me that turn, they weren't going to be playing the Infinite Tricks that turn, which would have been great for us. Seems pretty decent. I don't have a 2-drop, but let's play this on 1, and we're going to get to go Crusader. Maybe Crusader champ power into Dread Apprentice to, like, make this a little bit bigger. It's possible. We'll see what they sequence. I'm not going to hit my champion power yet, which maybe I'm going to regret. Crusader's Roost Bard in a Wild Ruby deck is interesting. Some kind of brew here. I guess we had a deck that did this last season, right? With Heart of Embers and stuff in it. Because you have the Acorn as an elf resource. Pretty strong. Are we dead? We might be dead. They get to flip this. If they flip this and champ power it, we might die here. I don't have any way to interact in my hand, though, so I think we're just supposed to keep smashing. I guess I could leave back 2 troops to block, but that seems pretty bad. So this is going to flip, and then champ power makes it do 10, so if they have a way to pump it up, we could die. So this is dealing 12, this is 14. If they have the green primordial here, okay, so are we not dead then? It feels like if they're not attacking with us, we might not be dead. And they didn't do it yet. Okay, so we might be alive here. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive, staying alive. Ha, 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 ha. Staying alive. Yeah, so they are super dead. They get to scrounge this and point this at their dome, too. And they get to cycle this Necropolis coin. Alright, so... Soul of Battle is in Standard, still. Seems like a good Primordial Sabretooth matchup. Cremate doesn't seem like it hits a ton. Should quit the day job, right? I mean, I do have the voice of an angel, so that's not to be too surprising, I guess. I don't know that Casualty of War is good enough. I'm just gonna try like this and wait and see if they just have. There's probably Surging Wildfires in their deck, but if they just have Surging Wildfire, we probably have like 1 Casualty of War at most. And they might not have any. Yeah, it seems pretty good. To go Deathseeker and Emperor's Lackey. Do this into this. Remember, because we have Matriarch of the Flames in our deck, it's profitable to play this out for our first Ruby source, so that way we can get 3 Ruby, because sometimes you do actually make Burn to the Ground with Matriarch of the Flames in this deck. Firebrand, sure. Grab a Ruby with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and offer this trade of the Deathseeker for the Firebrand here. I think that's fine. We're going to play a 4/4 post-combat. They have a Runic Hierophant next turn. We have a Primordial Sabretooth to kill it. They don't give us something we need to kill with the Sabretooth. We can go Wicked Webspawn, hit the champ power for 3 Dreadlings. Yep, there's the Runic, Swift Strike, and double damage I get. Why do people keep not putting Gladiator? Sure. Yeah, you do you, opponent. Need Communion with Wax next turn? We could get Communion with Wax here. Yeah, yep, so they have the Communion with Wax. So this is going to deal 20 to us, because how it works is Communion with Wax puts the card into play and then gives it the double damage modification. And then when this attacks, it deals damage equal to its power directly to us. So it's going to attack, go up to 5 and deal 10, and then it's going to come through and deal 10. So... If I put these two here, yeah, this is going to be pretty. We're going to 2 here. So we know they have a Valor in their hand. They can give this Swift Strike, so I need to just pass here, because if they chant Power at 2, I need blockers back. We're probably dead here. Dead to their Surging Wildfire. Dead to a few different things. Yep. Oh, very dead to that. I don't actually think I want any of this extra removal. I think I'm just on the play. I want to just be as aggressive as possible. Like 3 Sabretooths to be a little bit interactive is fine. Sounds fine. It's like not exciting, but it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and play a Blood Shard on 1 here. So that way, I can play Rustbucket Distractor on 2. I'm going to hold this Necropolis Coin so I can cycle it down the line in case we draw too many resources. It's a really small thing here, but it is strictly correct to play the Blood Shard on 1 as opposed to the Ruby Shard. And the reason for that is, again, we could draw a Crypt Dust on turn 2. And Crypt Dust making Ruby so our Matriarch of the Flames can be better is important. It's a very small edge, but it's a real edge that you can gain. Possibly Badger GTK. I just like there's no guarantee what they were doing. We kind of killed them before we really saw what they had. The Satyr's Roost Bard was kind of throwing me off. That's actually a really good draw. So we get to do this now. And then I get to hit my champion power here. And then next turn, we can go Wicked Webspawn into Rustbucket Distractor Scrounge to make their, whatever their turn 3 play is, not be able to block. And crack them for 10. 8. Crack them for 8. Yep, there's the rune here. No, I had someone ask if we could play some Redlings, so they wanted to see some of the aggressive decks that Hex had to offer. I think this is one of the best aggressive decks we have right now. I don't mind playing a couple matches with it. I don't know that we're going to play a ton of matches with it, but this deck is definitely doing powerful things. And if you're looking to get into Hex, or you're looking for a deck for the bashes on the weekend, I think this is a phenomenal choice. Very powerful and consistent deck. Whoa! That's... Huh. That's a double damage Crocosaur. Huh. Stomp, stomp, roar. Alright, good news. They're dead anyways. Maybe? No, I might be wrong. I think I'm wrong. Yeah, they're only going to 1. That's sad. We're gonna kill all their board. We're gonna kill their board though, so I guess we could die to Communion with Wax, Shard, other thing. They are going to 1. Scrounge this bad boy. Go ahead. Hex is completely free to play if you want it to be. You're going to have to grind for stuff just like you have to grind for stuff in CCGs, though. The difference is when you get done grinding in Hex, the things that you earn afterwards do have an actual monetary value that you can sell back out. No, coin only does 2. God, coin would be insane if it did 3. God, that would be gross. Okay, if they have Communion with Wax and the Surging Wildfire here, we go to 1. Okay, they should just be dead here, I think. Yeah, Hex is a full buy, sell, trade secondary market. So, like, you can sell the stuff that you earn. Shoot that, attack for 6. Got him. Yeah, let's play one more with Redlings and then we'll change it up. You brought me lunch? You're the best wife ever.
That's the stuff you picked out, so if you don't like it, it's your fault.
Thank you. I would just like to say thank you to everyone that's hanging out here today. There's a lot of different things you could be doing, different people you could be watching, so thanks for choosing to spend part of your time here with us. I do appreciate it. Just playing some Hex Shards of Fate, my favorite digital TCG. Remember, if you're enjoying the stream, hit that follow button. Consider using that subscribe button. Maybe those things help keep me going. They're the reason I'm able to be here as often as I am. Deathseeker? Yeah, Seeker's probably fine on 1 here. If we hit another Ruby, this hand's going to be pretty reasonable. We get to play a 1-drop here. We get to curve into Mortartrike Driver, kind of run them down. Sweet. I think we'd rather play Graven Geist here. That way we can guaranteed play the Mortartrike on 3. I'm going to go to attack with this before I play anything, so that way they kill this rather than my Graven Geist. Yep. Higher than Snoop. Can you check out, if you just take a quick second and click into this article here, it explains the really important differences between the two higher than Snoop. The resource system functions a little bit different than Magic. It's a lot more elegant in a lot of ways because you don't have to like fumble around with like tapping specific lands, which is really annoying and awkward. The other big difference is that each player has a champion. If you ever played the Vanguard mode of Magic, it's kind of similar to that. The champions, in addition to allowing you to make educated mulliganing decisions every game, you can kind of predict what type of deck your opponent might be playing based on the champion that they have. The champions also give you kind of flood insurance. You can see here, I just generated this 1/1 by using my champion power. So essentially, every time each player plays a resource, they get a charge towards their champion power. So champions are kind of flood insurance. Hex doesn't remove all the resource variance that Magic has, but it does give you ways to kind of mitigate it and play through it, so it's a little bit less variance while still having the interesting deck building requirements that having resources in your deck can provide. So this card gives all of my troops a mechanic called Scrounge, which lets me void troops in my crypt to give them a modifier. So I can get rid of 2 troops out of my crypt here to give this +2/+2 permanently. So this is going to be a 4/3 when we play it. And whenever a troop leaves our crypt, this gets +1 power permanently. It's definitely much closer to Magic higher than Snoop, but it uses the digital design space like Hearthstone does to kind of do mechanics that like aren't possible in a paper TCG. So it is similar to Hearthstone in that it leverages mechanics that you couldn't do in paper. Alright. I assume they have more removal spells. Yeah, my opponent's playing like a mono blood control deck, basically. And so that, in addition to killing my troop, creates them a constant called Nightfall here, which says, at the start of your turn, this deals 1 damage to each opposing champion. Hearthstone barely... Really? That's annoying. I haven't really played a ton of Hearthstone, so I can't really comment. Go ahead and play this out as a 4/3 here and pass the turn. My opponent's down to 11. They have a bunch of cards in hand, but like we've got 9 power here on the table. It depends on how many more removal spells they have. My opponent's going to be very sad. They have Vampire Queen, which makes them 3 bodies, but all of those bodies are smaller than Lazgar. Clear your board, kill you with my 9 power worth of dorks. This Lazgar card seems decent. Seems decent. Cremate doesn't seem particularly good. They didn't play a lot of smaller troops. Haunting Cry seems fine. Primordial Sabretooth is probably good. I assume they have something like Vampire Prince and Princess in their deck. Graven Geist was okay there. But I feel like they probably have brides. So I'm going to trim some of these X1s and bring in these Sabretooths, see how this goes. We might shake up our sideboarding, our reserving plan here for game 3, depending on what we see out of them. When Lazgar's rotates out, we'll probably throw a small party. There's a Vampire Prince, so like immediately regret this being a Haunting Cry, not a Cremate. Am I supposed to play this out? I think I'm supposed to play this out so that way I can play Underworld Crusader next turn and then champ power for 2 guys. So we can tick this Lazgar's Vengeance out ASAP. Had a cheap shot. It's annoying. So I want to get this Lazgar's Vengeance out of my hand as soon as possible. So I'm going to make a ruby with this. Because they killed that when they did, I can play this Webspawn. I can play this Deathseeker Scrounged, which makes 2 Dreadlings here. And then I can hit my Champion Power, which makes 2 more Dreadlings. So this is now going to tick all the way down to a 3 cost, which is great for me. So we're likely going to be able to Lazgar's next turn. The socket system has a lot going on if you've never used it before. It adds a lot of variety to the game, and it's kind of interesting. It makes cards different based on the different thresholds that they have. I like sockets a lot, but they're definitely saying they're not complicated as not being genuine, I feel like. I agree with the assessment that sockets is a complicated thing. I enjoy what they do, but they are definitely complicated. All right, let's scrounge this. Let's attack with all of these, which makes my Lazgar's free. Yeah, once you get a feel for them, they're good. But like Immortal should feel like kind of overwhelming and complicated, right? Like there's so much there. I really hope they step up support for Immortal when the next rotation happens. Because, like, right now, Immortal and Standard are, like, really pretty close. There aren't that many powerful 1 and 2 cost things. Or there aren't that many powerful, like, set 1, set 2 things that make Immortal a really distinct format from Standard right now. But, like, once we have the more cards in Immortal from this set, like, we'll have 4 more sets in Immortal, that'll really feel really different. Just gonna play this Crusader and smash into them, I think. They want to trade here or here, that's fine. That card, I'm surprised this is in their deck post-port. At the start of their turn, they get to draw the top card of my deck. They should be mostly dead here. If they don't hit like a Massacre next turn, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. That's a free Culmination in Blood. Alright, yep. Well, I'm glad I played this instead of drawing more cards. So the side of the troop being illuminated here, this means it's customizable. So this is one of the socketed cards we were talking about being a little bit confusing. So this card, the base text on this card is only the deck building restriction plus the death cry here. This socket I can change based on what shards are in my deck. So the customization I have in this one is speed. But we could put a gem in here that gives it Swift Strike. Or we could put a gem in here that gives it Gladiator 1. So you could do different things. Different things depending on what we're looking to do. If I smash with everything, they're obligated to chump here, and they could eat here and then go to 1. Yeah, I think that's worthwhile. Maybe I'm just going to attack with this. Yeah, I'm just going to attack with this, actually. Yeah, you have any questions, always feel free to ask. Happy to field questions. We're going to play this resource out here. No reason to hold it to bluff. And this puts us up to 2 charges, so if I draw another resource next turn, I can tap my champion power and kind of get going. Ugh! Oh, God. That could actually lose us the game. This, they could sacrifice a troop to give it life drain. Alright, let's draw another coin here. Discard this, they lose 2 life, we draw a card. That's unfortunate. Oh, wait, they're dead. This kills them, right? Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, so we can attack here, and then we sack whichever one they block. Oh, they sack and die. Oh, right, because the Crusader... We were good either way. We were good either way. Right. Thank you for the tips. Yep, for people watching in the future, there's going to be YouTube comments about that. Chat got there. They would have died when they sacrificed. Hey! Wait, what? Oh, is there some kind of special thing going on right now where we get a chance to get a common? Sea Festival, okay. Yeah, it's enough Redlings for now.